All right, let's dive right into this explainer. We're going to do something pretty incredible today. We're taking the profound esoteric cosmology known as the Enochian Matrix, and we're bringing it all the way down to Earth. We're turning it into a practical, actionable framework for your daily life. Because, this isn't just about abstract theories of the universe. It's about mapping out the actual fabric of reality so you can navigate your own life with absolute precision. So let me start by asking you kind of a fascinating question. Do you ever feel this massive, almost frustrating gap between your spiritual insights and your everyday physical reality? Like maybe you have these moments of profound clarity during deep meditation, but then you find yourself completely overwhelmed by just the basic demands of existing, or you get totally flooded by the emotions of the people around you. In this system, that is absolutely not a personal failure. Actually, it's a specific navigational problem known as a density mismatch. Think about those magic eye stereograms. You know the ones, right? For years, you stare at it, and it's just flat, random noise. But then, suddenly, the three-dimensional image resolves, and boom, you literally cannot unsee it. That's exactly what perceiving reality's hidden structure is like. It's not about trying to invent something new or imagining things that aren't there. It's about finally noticing the incredible depth that has literally always been present. It's that shift from just thinking about the structure of reality to actually feeling it.
So, our roadmap for this explainer is pretty straightforward. We'll start by entering the living field, break down the 7 nested densities, look at the 3 laws of the matrix, explore the concept of the human bridge, and finally bring it all home with the somatic foundation.
Okay, first up, entering the living field. Let's actually explore what it feels like to step out of pure theory and into the lived experience of the matrix.
You see, reality really isn't just empty space. It's a living field, and it basically operates in 3 distinct modes, depending entirely on where your awareness is tuned. First, it can act as a generative substrate. That's that profound impersonal stillness that holds absolutely everything together, the ultimate ground of possibility. Or it acts as an information medium. This is where genuine intuition comes from. It's that sense of direct knowing before a logical thought even has time to form. And lastly, it's a relational matrix. It's the living web where the energy you carry into a room immediately changes that room. Literally nothing exists in isolation.
Which brings us to the nested densities. How is this living field actually structured?
Now here's an absolutely crucial point to grasp. A density in this system, it is not a physical place you visit. It's not a ladder you climb or, a floor in a cosmic building. It's a specific frequency of reality that you tune your consciousness into, and they are all nested together right here, right now. It's exactly like having dozens of radio stations broadcasting in the exact same room. You aren't changing locations to hear a different station, you're just tuning the receiver.
To really wrap our heads around the scale we're dealing with, let's compare the absolute foundation with the ultimate peak. At the very base, we have density 1. This is pure information. The Akashic blueprint layer, it's the absolute stillness of the original pattern before any physical form even exists. And spanning all the way across the spectrum is density 7, which is the ultimate realization. This is where consciousness becomes entirely transparent and recognizes itself as the ultimate void. And right in between those two extremes are all the other densities, your physical energy, the archetypal mind, your emotional soul, all of it.
Let's move on to the 3 laws of the matrix. Because just like languages have grammar, this 7-density matrix has its own grammar of reality. And these aren't just abstract cosmic laws. They show up in your day-to-day life in incredibly tangible ways. First up is the law of pattern, which dictates structural repetition at every scale. In your life, this shows up as this repeating biographical themes. The exact same relationship dynamics or habits playing out over and over, just with different cast members. Then there's the law of resonance. Like calls to like. If your emotional field is broadcasting fear, you're going to perceive fear. But when you're grounded, you naturally attract meaningful synchronicities. Finally, the law of correspondence means everything is structurally connected across the densities. A physical tension in your shoulders, a specific emotional trigger, and a mental block, they're often just the exact same structural pattern, just manifesting at different frequencies.
All right, let's pivot for a second from that massive cosmological architecture down to the human scale. Your role in all of this.
Because the universe is a fractal. And that is absolutely not a metaphor. The structural intelligence that shapes a spiral galaxy is the exact same pattern that shapes a river delta, a leaf on a tree, a passing thoughts, and your entire life. As above, so below, but in a highly literal, structural sense. Because of that fractal nature, you act as what the system calls the bridge. You are actually the only class of being structurally designed to inhabit all 7 densities simultaneously. Now, this is a massive paradigm shift. It means your purpose is not to escape the lower physical densities to achieve some lofty, disconnected spiritual height. Think about it. If you evacuate your physical body to reach enlightenment, you haven't completed the bridge. You've abandoned half of it. Your actual function is to pull the highest, subtlest consciousness all the way down into the densest, most ordinary physical matter.
Since you are the bridge, we really have to bring these abstract ideas all the way down to earth. Let's talk about the somatic foundation and returning to the body. In this entire framework, your physical body is actually revered. It's not a distraction. It's definitely not an obstacle to your spiritual growth. It is the void at maximum specificity. Your mind is constantly time traveling, right? Bouncing to the past or stressing about the future. But your body is the only part of you that is literally always existing completely in the present moment. That makes it, without a doubt, your single most reliable instrument for navigating reality. So when you inevitably lose focus or when that density mismatch hits you hard, you use what are called the 3 somatic anchors. First, the breath. It perfectly bridges the gap between what you control and what happens automatically. Second, your feet. Just feeling your feet flat on the floor immediately grounds you back into first density physical reality. And third, the heart center. Simply placing your hand on the center of your chest gives you direct, immediate access to the 4th and 5th densities, where your life force and your deep emotions reside. Doing these 3 simple things will instantly plug you back into the matrix right where you need to be.
And look, we all know there are times when things just inevitably fall apart, when the intermediate structures of your life totally dissolve. The system actually calls this the night of the soul. When you hit this extreme kind of density mismatch, you need survival protocols. Here's what you do. Double down on first density reality. Eat real food, get some sleep, move your body. Keep at least one genuine human connection open, and when you journal, just write down the bare facts of your day, not spiraling judgments. And here is what you do not do. Do not try to fix it by accelerating intense spiritual practices. Do not isolate yourself completely. And whatever you do, do not make major life decisions while your perceptual field is this distorted. You just endure it, and you let the physical body anchor you. I want to leave you with a final, provocative thought to take into the rest of your day. Wherever you are right now, just take a breath, feel your feet planted firmly on the ground, and ask yourself, where is your consciousness anchored right this very second? Are you lost up in the mental layer, drowning in the emotional field, or are you fully consciously embodying the bridge? The absolute beauty of the Enochian Matrix is that once you know the map, you can always find your way back.